Jax came of age in uncertain times. His province struggled with a fledgling, largely agrarian economy and continuous political conflict with adjacent territories. His family was poor, but while he always wished for a little more, he usually got enough to eat to at least be satisfied. His father was a mason, and as was par for the times, that meant that Jax was a mason's apprentice. Early every morning, his father would wake him up to start the day's work, and together they would work with others in the village to build and repair structures. It was hard and very physical work, and while it was not the sort of thing that Jax might have set out to do on his own, he'd grown used to it and didn't complain as much as he did as a child. Oftentimes, on slow days, he would sneak off into the forest to a secret spot deep and out of the way of the commonly traveled trails. There he would sit by the creek or lay between the trees and stare up at the sky, escaping into his imagination. He'd dream of what might be happening in faraway places, what it would be like to walk on the stars, what types of things might have happened in the very place he lay hundreds or even thousands of years ago. He liked the forest because it was quiet, undisturbed, and he felt safe from the demands and strains of the village, and he connected to the energies of the nature around him. He never told anyone where his favorite spot was in order to preserve the peace, tranquility, and solitude of his refuge. So one could imagine his shock one midsummer day as he lay quietly against the slope of a large hill when he heard a voice speak up behind him. "You come out here a lot. What do you like so much about this place?" Jax, shocked, immediately jumped up and turned around to find a young woman of about his age with her hands on her hips and her head cocked to the side staring at him. "Who are you?" he demanded. "How did you get here?" The girl just shrugged indifferently. "I just did." "Where are you from?" Jax asked. "Back that way," she replied, pointing behind her, the opposite direction of where Jax would usually enter the forest. "What are you doing all the way out here?" "Probably the same thing you are," she replied, unbothered by his continued exasperation. "Which is?" "Just clearing my head," she remarked as she knelt down and ran her hand through a patch of flowers springing up from the base of a small mound. Jack studied her for a moment. He'd been coming to this place since he was old enough to go out on his own and had never encountered another soul. Though he was intrigued by the girl, her sudden appearance, and her beauty, he was also somewhat distressed that his hideaway had been discovered. "So then, what's over there?" he asked, slowly softening in disposition. "It's my village, where I live." "Yes, but that's across the boundary line, isn't it? How do you live over there?" "Oh, yes, I don't actually live in your province." "How do you know where I live?" "Well, I don't know exactly where you live. I come out here whenever I can, but I usually don't come past that mountain over there. But sometimes I see you come and go from the east, so I assumed you lived in one of the eastern provinces." "Are you here for anything in particular?" "No, not really. I just wanted to say hello, I guess." "Okay, well, hello," Jax replied, nodding to the grassy slope where he'd been lying before she arrived. The two sat and talked for an hour or so until the girl eventually announced that she needed to return home. "I'm not supposed to be out here," she explained, "and if I'm gone for too long, it won't turn out well for me." "All right, I understand. It was nice to meet you." "Flynn," she replied with a smirk. "And you, Mr. Interrogator?" "I'm Jax." "Well, Jax, take care." And she started off toward the west, glancing back once at a very emotionally conflicted Jax, whose stare had remained on her as she walked back toward the west. Soon thereafter, Jax started on his way home as well. "Where have you been?" his father queried as he walked through the door. "Oh, I just went out to get some fresh air in the forest." "What is it with you and that forest?" his mother asked as she set the table for supper. "Nothing really. I just like the animals and the greenery, and it's quiet there." "Well, keep your head out of the clouds. There's plenty to do down here, such as chopping up that wood out back before winter." "Yes, Mother. I'll do it tomorrow," he agreed, bowing his head in guilt. "All right. Well, supper's on the table. Let's not waste any more time." And with that, the family took their places at the table. The next several days, Jax remained hard at work, helping his father and managing household chores. But in the back of his mind was Flynn. He wondered how long she'd been visiting the forest, and if she was there as he thought of her at any given moment. Would he ever see her again?
To keep listening to this audiobook, I've left you a link in the description so you can do it. at no cost thanks to Audible's 30-day free trial.